On the world's fastest ice, Jordan Stolz brought a 20-year famine to a sudden, dramatic end. The date: Saturday, February 14th, 2026, a Valentine's Day in Milan. But for the American speed skating team, love wasn't in the air. Vengeance was. You have to go back precisely 2 decades, to February 13th, 2006, to find Joey Cheek on a podium in Torino, Italy, the last American man to claim Olympic gold in the 500-meter. For 20 long years, the sport's most brutal and explosive sprint had been a fortress, ruled by the titans from the Netherlands, Korea, and China. That fortress stood until today. When Jordan Stolz glided to the line for the 500-meter final, the weight of history was crushing. He was already a champion here, having seized the 1,000-meter gold on Wednesday with a stunning new Olympic benchmark. The 500-meter, however, is an entirely different beast. It's a 34-second burst of raw power, a drag race where one misplaced edge or a fraction of a second's hesitation off the block doesn't just deny you a medal, it obliterates your chances entirely. When the pistol cracked, the 21-year-old from Wisconsin didn't just move, he detonated from the line. He did more than just win. He etched his name into legend, becoming the first American man since the iconic Eric Heiden to capture gold in both the 500 and 1,000-meter events at a single Olympic Games. In Milan, Jordan Stolz is perfect. 2 events, 2 golds, and the world is waking up to the fact that this isn't just a phenomenal athlete on the ice. We are witnessing a talent that emerges perhaps once in a generation. To grasp the true magnitude of this victory, you first have to understand the paradox that is Jordan Stolz. At his core, Stolz is an engine of pure power. His physique is tailor-made for the 1,000 and 1,500-meter distances, where his immense aerobic endurance lets him crush opponents in the final stretch. But in the 500-meter sprint, his launch off the line has always been his Achilles heel. In an event where victory is measured in the blink of an eye, his opening 100 meters have consistently been his greatest vulnerability. Consider this. Throughout this year's World Cup tour, he only managed to win the opening split in about 56% of his 500-meter races. He was consistently outmatched at the start by Poland's Damian Jurek and the Dutch sensation Jenning de Boo, who were routinely 0.2 seconds quicker. Yet today, in Milan, something about that explosive start from the Wisconsin native was profoundly different. Stolz found himself in Heat 13, staring down his arch-rival, Jenning de Boo. As the gun fired, Stolz didn't trail. He matched him, stride for stride. He then blazed through the first 100 meters in 9.4 to 5 seconds. It was the fastest opening of his entire career. And then, he hit the turn. At 40 miles per hour, nearly every skater battles to stay upright against the immense centrifugal forces of a 500-meter turn. But Stolz possesses an almost supernatural ability to sink lower than any of his competitors, like a specter in a speed suit, perfectly balanced on a blade mere millimeters thick. He slingshotted out of that final corner with so much momentum that as he entered the final straightaway, the coaches from the Netherlands could only watch in despair, their heads already buried in their hands. He flashed across the finish in a scorching 34.1 to 2 seconds. It wasn't a world record, but on Milan's challenging sea-level ice, it was an earth-shattering declaration. He conquered the one distance everyone pointed to as his greatest weakness and transformed it into a golden pathway into the history books. This triumph in the 500-meter race was not an isolated event. It was built on the foundation of the utter demolition he unleashed upon the competition just 3 days prior. That was Wednesday, February 11th, when Jordan Stolz took on the 1,000 meters. He entered that event as the reigning world record holder. Yet the Olympics are a notorious graveyard for records, crushed under the immense pressure of the moment. Stolz was unfazed. He clocked in at 1 minute, 6.2 to 8 seconds, completely obliterating a 24-year-old Olympic standard set before he had even drawn his first breath. In that 1,000-meter race, his winning margin was a colossal half-second. In the world of speed skating, that is an eternity. It represented the most dominant victory in the Olympic 1,000 meters since 1984. The victory on Wednesday fundamentally altered the atmosphere inside the Milano speed skating arena. It was a clear signal. The era of Dutch supremacy in the sprints had drawn to a close. As Stolz skated his victory lap, draped in the American flag, he spoke of an overwhelming sense of relief. He had secured his first gold medal. The immense weight was finally lifted from his shoulders. And that relief metastasized into a fearsome confidence that he brought to the 500 meters today. While his competitors were consumed with anxiety about their starts and the precise temperature of the ice, Jordan Stolz was a picture of serenity. He understood that while he might not be the quickest off the line, he was unquestionably the fastest man on the ice. He weaponized the momentum from his 1,000-meter victory to intimidate the entire field in the 500. He has now achieved the coveted sprint double, a monumental accomplishment that places him among the immortal legends of the sport. Now, let's consider the giants he had to fell. Jenning de Boo is the crown jewel of Dutch skating, a mere 4 months Stolz's senior. He is a towering, formidable athlete, meticulously sculpted by the legendary Dutch skating machine from a very young age. In 2025, de Boo had actually bested Stolz at the World Championships, marking himself as the one man capable of halting the Americans' quest for dominance. And then there was Damian Jurek of Poland, the skater who had shown the most unwavering consistency in the 500-meter event throughout the entire season. But Jordan Stolz carries a weapon they don't: the instinct of a silent predator. You won't hear him taunting opponents. You won't see him erupt in victory. His formative years were spent carving turns on a frozen pond behind his house in Cowiscam, Wisconsin, simply because the drive to an indoor rink was a hassle he'd rather avoid. Forged in the stark, unforgiving winters of the Midwest, his racing style reflects that origin. Today, at the starting line beside Dew, his gaze never once strayed toward his competitor. His focus was absolute, like a man possessed. Where the Dutch team boasts millions in funding and state-of-the-art wind tunnels, Stolz's power comes from a small, dedicated crew and a profound obsession with the biomechanics of his own form. He embodies the spirit of a bygone era, an athlete who still sharpens his own blades. He reads the ice with the precision of a scientist. And today, that meticulous dedication toppled a global powerhouse. He bested Dew by 0.12 seconds in the 500-meter race. An undeniable, crushing victory. This wasn't just about defeating a man, it was about dismantling an entire system. The legend of Jordan Stolz is a distinctly American tale, one that began far from any elite performance academy. His journey began when his father, Gerald, simply shoveled the snow off the pond in their backyard. For endless hours, Jordan would skate into the darkness, accompanied only by the rhythmic whisper of steel on ice. It was in that solitude he forged the intuitive connection with the ice that has become his ultimate advantage. While most skaters battle the frozen surface, Jordan communicates with it. His talent inevitably captured the attention of the legendary Shawnee Davis, the two-time Olympic gold medalist who would take him under his wing. In Jordan, Shawnee recognized a reflection of his own relentless drive. The mentor taught the prodigy the art of the straightaway, how to build velocity without burning precious fuel. You can see the mark of Shawnee's tutelage in Jordan's posture, the way he holds his arms, and in his flawless aerodynamic form maintained even as his lungs scream for air. But the student has pushed beyond the master's lessons. His dedication borders on obsession. He's famous for investing countless hours inspecting the rocker on his blades, that subtle curvature deciding precisely how much steel kisses the ice. He knows that at 40 miles per hour, a single millimeter of steel separates a champion from an afterthought. And today, on Valentine's Day, that meticulous pursuit of perfection was rewarded. He ascended the podium, the prodigy from Wisconsin, a young man who never forgot where he came from, yet has managed to leave the rest of the planet in his wake. And now, the whispers turn to the unthinkable. A clean sweep. Jordan Stolz has claimed 2 victories in 2 attempts. The 1,000-meter and 500-meter golds are his. But his quest is far from over. 2 monumental challenges still lie ahead. Next is the 1,500 meters on Thursday, February 19th. And here's the terrifying truth for his competition. The 1,500 meters is his signature race. It's the distance where he is simply untouchable. It's a perfect fusion of his talents, long enough to unleash his immense stamina, yet short enough for his explosive speed to devastate the pack in the opening laps. He is considered the undisputed favorite for that gold medal. A victory in the 1,500 would secure his 3rd individual gold. The last American man to accomplish such a feat in a single Winter Games was Eric Heiden back in 1980. Bonnie Blair matched it for the women in 1994. Then, on Saturday, February 21st, comes the mass start. This event is the ultimate unknown, a frantic pack race. It's more akin to short track or peloton cycling, a chaotic spectacle of crashes and tactical genius. Though Jordan only incorporated this race into his season this year, he has already proven he can navigate its turmoil. Should he achieve a perfect 4 for 4, he will transcend being merely the star of these games. He will become the undisputed greatest speed skater of his generation. He is hunting the ghost of 1980, And after today's dominant 500-meter sprint, that ghost is looking more and more corporeal. For Jordan Stolz, success on February 14, 2026 means more than just a gold medal. It's about the revival of American speed skating, a sport he has single-handedly thrust back into the spotlight. He obliterated a 20-year American drought in the 500-meter. He has demolished records, and he's done it all with that quiet, humble smile from Wisconsin. He has proven to the world that you don't need a sprawling state-funded system to forge a champion. All it takes is a sheet of ice on a pond, a pair of skates, and an unyielding drive to become the absolute best you can be. Jordan Stolz did more than just win a race today. He seized a legacy. He sent a clear message that the fastest man on the planet doesn't train in the Netherlands, he trains in Wisconsin. The sprint has been won. The 500-meter gold is secure on American soil. And the Wisconsin wonder? He's only just beginning. Milan is waiting. The 1,500 meters is on the horizon, and Jordan Stolz is prepared for liftoff.